Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today. That is a James Dean quote. This weekend over dinner, I raised a very deep question of what is your purpose to a group of friends of mine to have received blank stares and really mixed responses, actually, from a few close friends. So I realize this is a pretty broad question as it raises so many other questions. However, to me, that's the most intriguing part. I wonder how often people ask themselves this, because honestly, I ask myself this all the time, and I have for a few years now, especially as I grow older and I continue to learn more about myself. Sure, there's no magic answer, and there's a wide range of variables to consider, but as we journey through our lives, our vision and perspectives, of course, are ever evolving. So maybe our purpose isn't to be limited to just one thing. Maybe it's more than one thing. Let's explore this topic today. I've brought along some really extraordinary guests. I have Miss Sydney Irving. She's a rising star from Syracuse, New York. She's going to perform some of her original music. I've also brought along Mr. Evan Michael, all the way from Los Angeles, actor, host, comedian, writer, brilliant mind, and an awesome dude. I can't wait to share these folks with you. You guys, welcome to Afternoon Cocktail. This is episode 26, Purpose. Hello, Miss Sydney Irving.
Hello, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks so much for being on our show. What are you going to perform for us today?
So I got a song called Hello Stranger, and it's off my first album, Hello Stranger. You can check it out on iTunes and Amazon, but also my website, sydneyirvingmusic.com.
Awesome, Sydney. Take it away.
Thank you.
Well,
later, version of danger lurks.
Woo, Miss Sydney Irving busting out the uke for us this
Right
afternoon.
there. Yeah.
I love it. Sydney, how many instruments do you play?
I play guitar, ukulele, and I'm trying to learn the banjo. I think I haven't picked it up enough, but we're
Hey,
working on
that's pretty cool. The banjo is awesome. I would love to learn to play banjo too. Cool. So, I mean, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, you're a young lady and you're killing it right now. So, I mean, do you come from a musical background? You live in Syracuse, New York. I think I read that your father was or is a musician.
He's always wanted to be a musician. He never
Okay.
has. The only known musician in my family is, I think, a great uncle, and he was an opera singer. But besides that, it's just me, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, at what age did you discover music? Or, I mean, what was the first thing you gravitated towards? Was it singing or was it ukulele or guitar?
Well, so we've always kind of had music in the house. It was always playing. It was like The Doors, L.A. Woman, we listened to a lot, and Tom Petty, Highway Companion. And I started getting into music when I was probably about 10. I discovered Taylor Swift, and like the Speak Now album just spoke to me. And it just kind of got me into music. And then I picked up a guitar when I was about 11 and started writing songs when I was 12. And just kind of kept going with it.
Are you still a big T Swift fan?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, she's got some really good albums. Like she's a great songwriter. 1989 and Red, just great albums.
Sure. It's funny when I was listening to, it's gonna date me compared to you, but I was listening to some Christina Aguilera, which made me think. I mean, you're in your teens right now, right? You're 17. Yeah,
16. Almost.
16. So yeah, when I was your age, I was like bumping and singing to like Christina Aguilera and like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, like the Backstreet Boys, like all that stuff was like what spoke to me at that time. And I was like, wow, pop stars! Like I wanna sing and I wanna dance and play music like all these people. So it's cool that you find that inspiration and then you make it your own. You actually have more of a rock edge to you than Taylor Swift. So you said Tom Petty was one of your influences. I mean, is this you're I'm sure you'll be ever evolving as you continue to write music. Now, you've wrote two albums already you have out.
Yeah, so we have two albums, and then I have just recently new live EP, and then EP we put together with Sydney Irving and the Mojo. So it's like a little bit more rock and roll, like as metal as Sydney Irving can be.
That's fun. So now is this another I mean genre wise is this just a direction you're exploring at the moment with the Mojo or do you are you looking to record like multi genres and just kind of experiment in the studio?
I'm definitely into and like going into different genres and stuff. I love like all genres, and so the new stuff though is kind of heading more in the rock direction. I would say from the acoustic poppy stuff.
Cool. So how when you perform out solo, so you do quite a bit of performing out in the Syracuse scene. When you perform out solo, are you performing mostly originals or are you doing covers as well?
Well, I do mostly covers, but I always put in some originals because people like to hear stuff they know, but then I'll slip in some of my songs.
Sure. So what covers are you attacking? Like are you doing some Taylor Swift meets like Iron Maiden or what's going on there?
That would be pretty cool, but so I think I only do like one Taylor Swift song, but like I do like Tom Petty, I do Blue Oyster Cult, Burnin' for You, and some country stuff. I do like some Glenn Campbell. There's a band called Midland, and I do a couple of their songs. Uh, so like
Good
a wide
stuff.
variety. Yeah.
Sure. I love it.
Thank you.
So, I mean, what's it like balancing? I mean, you're in high school, so what's it like balancing a gig life and schoolwork and trying to be a normal kid?
I mean, it's music is kind of like all the kids who do sports. It's just kind of like my sport, and so I do the homework and then I go and play, and then I come back home and sleep. But it's just kind of like the thing that I do. Everyone's got their hobby.
Yeah, sure. No, that's awesome. You could look at it like as like your job too, like on the weekend, right?
Yep,
Because you
definitely.
are getting paid. Yeah, so it's like it's my job.
Yeah,
That's
it's my
awesome.
jobs. Yeah.
So you have a number of videos on YouTube. I've checked out a bunch of them. Really great videos of your original songs and some covers. You just recently released one this week. Wasn't it like a few days ago, a Lady Antebellum cover? Can you tell us a little bit about it and your mission as to like why you created this video, why it was important to you?
Yeah. Oh, and if you hear a dog, it's my dog. He's going bonkers. Someone just drove up the driveway. It's probably the mailman. They love the mailman. Um, so we just put out the Lady Antebellum cover, and so it was put together by a big group of people, awesome people. The idea was brought to us by my manager, Brian from Grace Musicians Group, and we thought it would just be a great idea to honor the seniors because it was definitely unexpected what happened, and we thought it'd be a cool thing to do. And so, shout out to Tom Nitty, he sings, and Eric Slifka, he plays the mandolin in the video. Luke Hart plays the electric guitar. Tom Finn, and then Jordan Jack and Lawfer's Pub. We recorded the audio actually at Lawfer's Pub in the men's bathroom,
Oh my
obviously.
goodness.
Um, yeah, and uh, yeah, so we just thought it'd be a cool way to honor the seniors and hopefully make it a little bit better, I guess, in a small way.
Sure. Have you received a great response from your fellow seniors?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Some people have been like, "Oh, cool, thank you." But it's just really cool, and it was really just a project for the local community, and it really blew up. We've got, I think, like 20,000 views on Facebook alone.
It's
And yeah,
amazing.
very
Yeah.
cool.
Good
Yeah.
for you. I hope I mean, those numbers continue to soar. It's excellent. It's great. I can't believe you guys recorded the way you did. And that was your first time performing with Tom, too, right? Was it Tom,
Yeah.
the,
Well,
the lead
we've done
singer?
like yeah, we did various things together. So like we would do like dual gigs. So we would go and I would do a song and he would do a song and I would do a song and he would do a song. But this was the first time that we'd ever done like a duet together. It was super cool. He's really talented and super nice.
Yeah, definitely. He has a great voice. I think your voices blend really beautifully together. I'm sure there's collaborations in the future after this. So I hope
Definitely.
there is.
Yeah. I hope
How
so
about
too.
Yeah, tell me about. So I read that you opened up for Jefferson's Starship. Do you know how cool that is? That is like
On
really cool. Just so you know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
big thank you to Grace Musicians Group because without them I really would not be where I am today. But it was just such an honor to be able to open for such a legendary band. And when I heard, I was like, "Wait, you mean like really?" Because I was like, "You mean like a cover band, right?" And they're like, "No, like the actual band." And I was like, "Whoa, okay." So I was like, "Totally. I mean, why would you not?" And so it was the first time being on a stage that large. So it was very different, very cool. They had all this professional sound, and um, the stage was enormous. And just before we had gone to Canada and returning, we went through duty free. And so my dad decided that it would be the best idea ever to get this like 2 or 3 foot bottle of Jameson and bring it home. And we were like, that's the perfect gift for Starship. And so after we played, we went and gave it to them, and I think they liked it. Yeah,
I think that's a pretty cool gift.
we were
What
like,
did you actually got to meet Grace Slick? Like, what did you get to talk to any of them or really interact, or was it just kind of in passing?
well, so the band has changed over the years, but Mickey
Okay.
Thomas was there, and we got to meet him, and then all the awesome musicians who play in the band. They're all just really, really nice and super cool, and the show that they put on was fantastic.
I'm sure. That's so cool. I love it. When I read that, I was like, whoa, that's pretty badass. Not gonna lie.
Thank
So
you.
You're welcome. Sydney, today's theme is kind of it's deep, but we're talking about purpose. And as a young woman, I mean, I, I've, I've always kind of felt like, I mean, you've gravitated towards music at a young age. And I always felt like for me, like, I always felt fortunate in the sense where music has really guided me through my life. And I definitely feel that's one of my purposes. What's your thoughts on the word? Do you have any thoughts? I mean, in this moment of time, what do you believe your purpose to be?
Um, well, first off, I'd like to say that I think it's great that you said it was a deep thing and you got water behind you. So that's very tied together. I love
That's fun.
that. I think lately I feel like my purpose has kind of been so we have two dogs, and we've got a little Havanese, his name's Rocky, and then a big golden retriever, her name's Luna. And we got them these little squeaky toys, and they just adore them. And so the game that they play is you throw it to them in the house, and then they bring it back, stick it under the couch, and then cry until you get it. And then you get it, and then you throw it again. So I feel like that's kind of been my purpose over the last couple weeks.
Entertaining the pooches,
Mhm.
I'm sure they are grateful for that very much. And I think I mean honestly, purpose to me, the more I kept thinking about it and this topic, it really always goes back to relationships for me. And that could be with an animal or I mean, we have an impact on the people and the things and the places around us. So I mean, I think that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What do we got going on?
So we're working on a brand new EP. It's got 5 songs, and we're hoping to put it out by the fall. And then some upcoming shows, which you can check out on my Facebook. And shameless plug, if you could go and like my Facebook, Sydney Irving Music, and follow my Instagram, that would be super cool. But besides that, just hanging out at home, playing American Girl dolls with my sister, and uh, the usual.
Well, Sydney, I mean, continued success to you. I hope to meet you in life sometime soon and keep soaring. You're doing such an amazing job and your voice is incredible. So keep doing great things and opening for cool people. And I hope to see your name in lights sometime soon. Thanks for being on our
Oh,
show.
thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So make sure you guys go and like Sydney's page. And in the meantime, we're going to hold tight. We're going to bring her back a little bit later for one more original song. I have a special guest in house, literally in my house. My sister, Miss Jennifer McLaughlin, is in the house and she's going to read our show sponsors. You ready, sis?
Good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon Cocktail Season 2 is brought to you by Electronic Merchants Credit Cards, RebeccaDodge.com, and Jewish Senior Life. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Have a beautiful day, residents. Thank you for your love and support, and for everybody watching us out there. Have a great life, be safe, and stay healthy.
Oh, yeah. So, Miss Evan Michael, are you ready to be interrogated?
Bum bum bum.
Here we
Come with my own
go.
sound effects. So I come with my own.
I like it. It's good. It's good to have. Evan, so awesome to see you again. It's
Great
really,
to see
really
you,
cool.
Amanda.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see you like just kicking butt. You're doing awesome. Your videos are hilarious. So Evan Michael is a comedian. You're a host. You're a writer. You're an actor. You do so many things. A voiceover artist. I mean, when I had first met you, this was, I want to say like maybe at least 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I was playing at a little place called Victoire here in Rochester, and you were just coming in after your final performance as Daddy Pig in Pepper
Right.
Pig. You were touring the country, right? And even Canada?
Goodness me, I was very excited to be traveling and voicing Daddy Pig. Yeah, so I'm happy I don't have to do that anymore. All those years of blinking definitely it tires you out. But yeah,
Yeah.
we were up in we had just come down from Canada. We were in upstate New York. I went to Syracuse, so I feel like I was back home, and we all as yeah Sydney, yes, I know the so cool. And as Sydney can relate, your previous guest can relate. Sometimes you just want to chill. When you're done after a performance, and you just want to go out, and you want to connect with that local community, support that local community. And we went to this place because we knew it had live music. And look who the live musician was, Miss Amanda. And Sydney, here's
It
a
was
funny
fun.
story. Amanda was killing it, and we're all feeling good, and our voices are nice and warmed up after singing and oinking for thousands of kids all night long. So we decided to sing with her, and before the end of the night, we duetted. I think it was to Tonic. I think we sang Tonic
We
together. You
did. If you could
can only
only
see,
see. It was
which was
great.
amazing. So much
I
fun.
had so much fun. And yeah, like hanging out with you and your group afterwards was really super fun. And I love it. How did you land that role? I mean, obviously you auditioned for it, but like what made you go for something like that?
Yeah, I had just moved out here. My wife works in healthcare. She's absolutely killing it right now. It's in a kind of a crazy time to be in that industry, but she had just taken a new job. She had moved from her hospital in Michigan to Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles, and I was looking for work myself, and I wasn't sure exactly where my lane was going to be. Was I going to try to go comedy? Was I going to try to stay in theater and performance? And while I was looking for, the commercial work or the comedy work, this theater opportunity came up, and I said, well, maybe I wasn't supposed to leave theater yet, and I just wanted to go in right and just audition, just be a part of the audition process, dip my feet back into the pool that you're swimming in right now, as Sydney mentioned behind you, and it was amazing. So you had all these super talented dancers and puppeteers and voiceover artists and musical theater performers, but we didn't really know exactly what we were auditioning for because the breakdown was not that specific. It basically just said, if you're great with doing kids' voices and can perhaps sound like a pig, a bull, or a dog, please come out for this new live show. So I'm thinking to myself, what live show has a pig, a bull, and a dog? Because I don't, my wife and I, we don't have kids yet. So I'm going in with an open mind. And it was a slow reveal that it was a part of the Peppa Pig world, that it was a part of the Peppa Pig family. So once I knew that, then it was like, oh, this is legit. I got to bring up just my A game, but my A plus 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 game, because there are millions of kids who love these characters and who identify with these voices. And the first test before I got the gig was, how many different emotions could I oink in? And our brilliant, esteemed director, he would call out crazy emotions. They started easy. It would be like, oh, let's go with sad. And you'd have to oink sad, happy. But then he would go in like crazy adjectives, morosely. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. Abjectedly. Oh. So it was a field day just figuring out how to emotively oink, but it all worked out because I got to do the show for just about 3 years. 47 states we performed in, almost all of Canada. It was absolutely incredible. It's a job and an opportunity I'll always look fondly back on, especially because of the kids.
Sure, that's so cool. I love it. And so you've done like a lot of voiceover work in the past. I mean, what has been one of your more notable experiences doing just voiceovers? Like, what was one thing like? I mean, was it animation wise, where like you saw like all the pieces come together? Like, it's one thing when you're reading a script, right? But then
Right.
to see all the components come together, that's got to be so cool.
That's
Was there anything like that?
that's one of my favorite parts of the process, is that so many times if you're whether you're an actor or a voiceover actor, or you're doing ADR, looping after the fact, is you don't exactly know how it's going to look or how it's going to work, because like you said, Amanda, we're just giving our script or giving our part. We can't see the big picture yet, and usually the big picture is at the reveal, like the watch party or the premiere or something like that. So when you're in the booth, and really sometimes all you see is, you know, your reflection or the words on the page. Every now and again, you'll get to see the actual, you know, concepts of what's going to be in the show or in the cartoon. But most of the time, you know, you're just holding it up and, okay, you're doing all the voices. Hey, really? And just making all your noises and doing it 20 times so that they have plenty of options. And you think to yourself, I'm crazy. I think I'm insane, or I'm going. It sounds insane. But when they put it all together, it magically always tells the story. It always, you know, looks great and sounds top notch. And that's really the kind of the fun of it is you go through the hard part and then you get the big reveal. And then you go, wow, I'm so glad I decided to you know, come up with all these voices and sound like a crazy person in an audio booth for an hour. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
It sounds so much fun. Like I think that I can't think of like a cooler job than, I mean, yeah, I think that's got to be one of the coolest jobs ever. I mean, what was it like growing up as Evan? I mean, were you making crazy voices and crazy faces in the mirror? Like what was it like?
Well, I'm still growing up. I don't. I think I have a lot of growing up still to do. I grew up in a really small town in the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts called Adams, and because your show is called Afternoon Cocktail, I should tell you that Adams is not named for our illustrious second president,
Samuel?
John Adams. It's
Oh.
named for Sam Adams, its revolutionary beer-making cousin. So yes, I am from Sam Adams. So cheers to that.
Cheers, Samuel.
Yes, exactly. I know I just did sparkling water for right now, but yeah,
That's
cheers,
okay.
Uncle Sam. So I grew up in a really small town, but it was a small town, you know, like Syracuse, that really supported the arts, had a great art scene, had a huge love for live music and performers. And I was surrounded by summer stock theater. And, you know, or while most kids were probably stuck with MTV and that generation, you know, growing up in the 80s and into the early 90s, MTV, VH1, and the music videos, I was out and watching the live performances and these live musicians and these live shows at the Williamstown Theater Festival and the Shakespeare and Company. And that really was, I think, was a game changer for me. It really, you know, truly plugged me in and got me amped up. Intentional music puns right there for the arts. And that was lucky because it gave me the confidence to do all those silly voices. It gave me the confidence to experiment with theater and characters in music and to find my own voice. A big part of that is where I grew up and the people that surrounded me and the support I had and how, you know, they made wanting to be an artist feel good and feel right. And that's not easy to do because a lot of times people think, oh, you're never going to make it. You know, what are you trying to be a musician for? What are you trying to be an actor for? What are you nuts? That world is so hard. But when you go into it with people loving you and supporting you and saying, you can do it, go for it, take that risk. We want to hear you. We want to see you. That was really special. And that's a big part of the community that I grew up in. You know, those Northeast small towns, we've got each other's backs.
Sure do. I love it. So you do so many things. You do comedy, you do you're acting, you're hosting, you're writing. Are you even producing? I mean, I'm sure you have.
I haven't jumped full into producing just yet, but it's something that I definitely would like to polish my skills in because you almost have to be as well-rounded as possible, especially right now. The more versatility you have,
the better. Yeah, I mean, it all like almost fits under an umbrella in a way. Mm-hmm. Like it, yeah. I was gonna say, like, where did you start first? Like, what would you consider like your primary skill? Like, would you say I'm a writer first, or I'm a comedian first?
Yeah, that's a great question because I think it's changed a lot over the years. That focus has changed, or I've developed a certain skill, maybe a little bit more so than another one. I think hosting is probably, you know, that's kind of the main talent, if you can say that, or the main gig. It's definitely the opportunities I try to go out for the most, and it's what comes kind of naturally for me. But boy, it's hard not to want to be funny. I love the comedy work I get to do, and I kind of have always just tried to make people laugh and smile and think, and comedy is a great medium to do all three of those things in. Sure. And the longer I can do that, I think the healthier and happier I'll be, and hopefully the healthier and happier those that I get to work with and share with will be as well.
So my favorite video on your website, and just thinking about it makes me laugh, the gargoyle. So you were in Denver International Airport,
Yep.
and there's just this gargoyle out, and everybody's passing it. They got their baggage, and they're just walking by, kind of looking. And you actually are doing the voice for it, and you're just talking. So there's a camera obviously built into the structure, right? And it's mechanical a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're talking to people. How fun was that? That had to be like such good fun for you. How long did you sit and do that during a stretch of time, or?
Yeah. So quick little backstory on projects like that. Like, these are the projects you never really know a lot of the details about them, but as an actor and a voiceover person, and you just got to say yes to. Like, I like to consider myself a yes man. So Denver International Airport has always kind of had this connection to conspiracy theory ever since they built the airport. They kind of lean right into it and do a great job of trolling and being really historically silly about conspiracy theories that people often rant and rave about. And they decided to really lean into their history and build a new exhibit, a talking gargoyle that goes back to all their conspiracy theories with gargoyles in the past, and then brings in that live kind of hidden camera show element. So I was in a sound booth, and I was operating two parts of the statue, this amazing animatronic statue, and then another puppeteer was operating the other parts, and we would go back and forth, and then the director would go, "Oh, here comes some people, get ready," and I would have the ability to just improvise and just come up with comedic lines, some dealing with the history of the airport, some dealing with the history of gargoyles, others just dealing with great conspiracy theories, and others dealing with the uncomforts of travel. Because at the end of the day, traveling is tough, and the airport knows that. They do such a great job of keeping people as safe and secure as possible. But it's also great to relieve some of that stress by laughing. And as long as we didn't prevent someone from missing their flight, we were good.
I love it. So how many days were you in production for that? Was that just a one-time thing that you guys filmed and took whatever footage from a whole day, or was that over a span of a week?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it looks like it could be. We could have been there for probably a month, but we were only there for 2 days. We had kind of one day of prep, and then maybe a half day that we did some of the voiceover, the hidden camera work, and then a full day the next day. And the editing team just did an extraordinary job of picking out the best people that we randomly surprised with the gargoyle sentiments, and edited it together to do this wonderful celebratory video for not only the airport but for traveling through Denver in general. And I didn't get to see it until, like we were joking about, until the reveal. So I had no idea what they were going to use, if any of my jokes were going to make it, if any of the the funny behind the scenes content was going to be in there. So when I watched it, I almost fell off my chair, because it was just so amazing to see it all come together. And I was so grateful that they kept in so many of the funny one-liners that I just riffed off of.
It is so funny. I love it. I wish I was in an airport like that had something, because that would definitely be an awesome way to kill some time.
And he's still there, evidently. He's still there. And and when, obviously I'm not there, so it's not live, but when you walk by him, it's motion activated. So I come to life and still have funny interactions with people. And they're like, "What? Huh?" The gargoyle.
So it's just
talk to me.
So they just pre-recorded you and just kept.
Yep.
That's cool. Very cool. How awesome.
Yeah, great project. It was.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It looks like so much fun. So Evan, you won an Emmy. That is amazing. Congratulations. I mean, what did you receive that Emmy for? And I mean, what was running through your mind the second you were handed that trophy? I mean, how's that feel?
Oh, well, yeah. Thank you for the shout out there. Feels pretty awesome. It was for writing and producing and hosting with the team a series of infomercial and commercial spots that dealt with teaching kids about the news and the weather. Kind of like when Beck Bennett from SNL sat around with all the kids and talked about AT&T phone service and that really kind of improv comedy style. We did a riff on that ourselves and did it with kids talking about the news and the weather. And I didn't expect a lot of things to come from it, but when it did, and we won the Emmy, and I went up to accept it, all I was thinking in my head was about an episode of Seinfeld. There was an episode of Seinfeld that I loved when I was a kid, where Kramer is he's sitting in the Tonys as the seat filler, and when the people around him win, they get up and they take him down on stage with him, and he takes the Tony, and he walks off the wrong way and gets all this extra airtime at the Tonys because he has to cross back, from the stage in front of the camera. So I did my own little tribute to that, and did the line from Seinfeld. And I knew I was supposed to exit one way, and I intentionally went off the other way, so they had to stop me and bring me back. And I just had to carry the Emmy for a little while longer in front of the cameras, and do a little fun Kramer impersonation. So even in a serious moment, I couldn't not connect to the comedy of it, because there still was something funny to be said about it, and I keep it behind me. Right now, it's just as my wife calls it, an aggrandized paperweight that's hard to dust and is too heavy for the shelf it's on. So that's what you get when you win an Emmy. You get an annoyed wife who wants it out of the public view. But I want to keep it at least somewhere tucked nearby, so I can remind myself to work hard and rub it for good luck or something.
I love it. Well, I hope that's not the last of your Emmys. I mean, keep doing brilliant work. You're so talented and such a great person, and grateful to have you. Before I got to ask you this one last question, because it pertains to our theme, and you and I talked a little bit before we went live today.
Mm-hmm.
Today's theme is purpose, and in your opinion, professionally and personally, how does this word differ? Do you believe that you've found your purpose? Or maybe you found it multiple times? What's your opinion on it?
That's a great question, and such a great and timely theme for right now. I think I'm continually trying to discover it. And I think a lot of times where I've defined this is my purpose, right? To make people laugh, to make people smile, to make people think, it keeps growing and it keeps evolving and it keeps changing. And that's from a professional perspective. But when I look at some of the professional things I've done, I'm also changing how I view my purpose in life. It used to be just as an entertainer, but now that I'm recently married, I look at my life, as here I am in one setting, but now I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great role model, and soon to be a great father, hopefully, when we decide to start a family. And I think my purpose keeps changing, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go next. I've been able to, in the Zoom era, connect with so many reconnect, I should say, with so many family members and friends that I think we kind of take those relationships for granted because we see these people all the time, or we talk to them on the phone all the time. And then when the world paused and we didn't have these necessary interactions, or we couldn't travel to get to them, we used this medium and reconnected. And I think that's changed so many relationships that I have, and I love it. I'm very grateful for it. So where's my purpose going to be later today, later tomorrow? I don't know, but I'm excited to go on that journey and to keep evolving and to keep discovering it.
Sure. I love it. And yeah, I definitely feel that way. I remember some things have remained constant for me personally, but I definitely feel like it's ever evolving, and that's okay. I think when I said earlier, in my intro, I brought up this question to a group of friends over the weekend, and they just kind of all looked at me like, oh, well, that's a broad question. I'm like, I know it is, but that's what it's making them think. At the same time, I see everybody's wheels turning, my wheels are turning, and I've known, I've redefined my purpose time and time again, and as I gain new interests, and as I become new things, that purpose ends up, changing and shifting along with that, and I don't know. The main idea is to make you all think a little bit, guys. Like think about it for a second. What's important to you? What's constant in your life? What is making you feel fulfilled, and how do you want to live that out? And to me it's about legacy a little bit, like what legacy we want to leave behind. Anyway, we'll get back to that afterwards. Evan, I adore you. Thank you so much for being on the show and for giving us your time and giving up a piece of your morning, actually, to be with us.
Out in LA. Thank you so much, Amanda. And I'm so honored to be on with Sydney. Her music is dynamite. And that story about Jefferson Starship, Jefferson Airplane. Oh, my God. I'm going to be
so cool.
I want to be there, too. That was awesome.
Me too. It's really cool. Well, we're going to bring Sydney back, actually. Sydney, are you ready to perform one more original song?
I'm here. I'm ready.
All right, girl. Rock it out.
All right. I want to say a big thank you to you guys for having me on. Evan, you are awesome. I'm going to have to go check out that gargoyle video.
Yeah, make sure you do. Evan, what was your website? One more time.
Made it easy. Just my name, www.evan-michael.com. Got to keep it relevant, got to keep it updated. So this is a wonderful reminder to do that. Thank you both for the reminder to make sure I update that website, get some new videos on there. But there it is, my name, evan-michael.com, evan-michael.com.
Thank you, Evan. You're the best. Sydney, what are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play you a song on my Breed Love guitar. Sponsored by Breed Love. Love Breed Love guitars. If you're a guitar player, go check them out. They're cool. But this one's called I'm Ways Away from my album The Half Moon Sessions. Available on all the streaming and buying platforms of the internet, but also my website, sydneyirvingmusic.com. And we're going to be releasing a lyric video for it very shortly on YouTube as well.
Awesome. Take it away, Sydney.
All right. Got one foot out the door, the other's paralyzed inside. Told me this money is to be burned. I want your Inquisition buried alive. Oh. Leave my name between their teeth. Still so aimless, skipping beats. Mangled, tangled in defeat. Give me a second, I'll jump back to my feet. Feel the heat, heat. Go it alone, dear fish on sea, sea. Boots hit the ground.
Amazing. Miss Sydney Irving of Syracuse, New York. Make sure you like her Facebook page at Sydney Irving Music. And Evan Michael, thank you so much. The ever-talented evermichael.com is where you could find him. And I'm going to leave you guys off with some closing words. Today we talked about purpose. It seems as if everyone is searching for their purpose in today's world. Though with so many conflicting messages being constantly presented to us, it could be confusing to know where we are, what to connect with, and what we're meant to do. The life purpose consists of the very reasons you get up in the morning. Purpose can guide life decisions, it could influence your behavior, shape goals, offer a sense of direction, and create meaning. Purpose will be unique for everyone. What you identify as your path may be different from others. For some people, purpose is connected to meaningful, satisfying work. For others, their purpose lies in their responsibilities to their family and friends. For others, it's meaning through spirituality or religious beliefs. Our life purpose is ever evolving. Our priorities and experiences shape and redefine our purpose as we journey through our lives. The transitions we experience in life, the hurdles, the losses, the relationships that come and go, it all amounts to be something so much greater beyond us. That impact we have on one another may be negative or positive. It ignites self-awareness and it tests our boundaries, it tests our tolerance. How much of ourselves do we give? And the joy and the love we put forth, it tests all of that. We all serve a purpose in someone's life, as they do in ours. I believe that our life purpose is our contribution. True purpose is about recognizing your own gifts and using them to contribute to the world. Whether those gifts be playing beautiful music, maybe it be helping somebody through a hard time, maybe it's just simply bringing more joy into the lives of those around you. We are all born with a deep and meaningful purpose. It's up to you to uncover it in order to create the life you want. I hope today's show inspires you to take some time to think honestly about you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Big thank you to Boya Productions. Big thank you to Sydney Irving, to Evan Michael again. Shout out to our Patreon sponsors, Maiden Voyage Studio in Fairport, New York. Also the Green Room in Rochester, New York. Thank you to all our Patreon sponsors. And if you'd like to be a Patreon sponsor as well and you really enjoy our show, make sure you go to patreon.com/afternoon cocktail talk show. And I look forward to seeing you again later this week, Wednesday and Friday. Have a great day, you all, and take good care of yourselves. Ciao.